Hello, and welcome back to another brand new review. Where at the start of this month I reviewed the first Twitches movie, a film that I had not seen in over 20 years, and I instantly fell back in love with the first movie. It's not one that I, out of the two, that I was familiar with, because when growing up, when the sequel came out in 2007. It was the one that was shown the most, but I do remember, some Halloweens where it was back to back Twitches 1 and Twitches 2. But to me, Twitches 2 was the one that I remember watching, I think, first, and that. And I decided when planning out October's uploads that I would do a review for both in the same month. And I'm glad that I have rewatched Twitches 2 because it's not as strong as the first one at all, in my opinion. Basically, sometime after the first movie ends, we know that Alex has moved in with her sister into the big rich mansion. But it turns out that Thantos, the villain from the first movie, is back and living in this thing called the Shadows. And we also learn that, because of Thantos and the Shadows, later on in the movie, that, the queen, their mother, uh, decided that only the royals would have uh, their magic powers um, kept. They just took everyone else's powers away and made them live as mortals, essentially. Um, which, hey, that kind of that that sounds normal for any monarchy to do. Something to those effects where they'll only have that one cool thing for themselves and won't let any of the peasants have it. But yeah, essentially the movie is about their father coming back because the last movie they met their birth mother, and now it's time to bring back their birth father, even though it was stated in the first movie that he was killed, except not really. It turns out he lives in the shadows, which is where Thanos ran off to after the Twitches whooped him within an inch of his life, that he could only hide out in the shadows, and he was using some manipulative tactics, and he managed to free himself and hunt down his brother's shadow. And in the end, he loses. He gets thrown into this giant pit and is dead, just dead. And their father's back alive, and that's essentially the plot. The main conflict of this movie is the fact that one of the Twitches is severely convinced that it is their father that they're talking to or have had interactions with throughout the shadows. And when their mother brings up to them, like, we need to use the vanquishing spell on the shadows. It doesn't matter if your father is still alive in the shadows. We can't risk Thantos being set free. And even when she's like, "Oh no, I don't think it's Thantos. I think it's our father," their mother quite rightly says, "No, it's Thantos. He's using you. He's toying with your emotions to get you to set him free." And what happens? That exact same scenario ends up playing out because Thantos was using her emotions of her dead father in order to for her to give him his powers, oh, her powers, to bring him from the shadows and give him his old body back. And yeah, it's just it's not as good as the first one. It just isn't, in my opinion. And that's saying something because, like, I grew up always saying that Twitches 2 was better than Twitches 1. But now, after doing these two rewatches, nearly 20 years after the last time since I watched them, um, yeah, Twitches 1 is far superior than Twitches 2. Uh, I just feel like the story and the plot and how it advances is far superior than Twitches 2. You know, but that's just my opinion as someone who's just only after rewatching it. I literally just I'm not long finished it. So yeah, glad that I did do this rewatch. Probably won't rewatch Twitches 2 anytime soon, but I might return to Twitches 1. Um, maybe once in a blue moon. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And the next review is going to be my Torchwood Season 2 review. So yeah, look forward to that one because a lot of the episodes in that are going to be first time watches for me. Because I never watched Torchwood Season 2 in full, like with Torchwood Season 1. Um, so yeah, I'll catch you all on for that video next time.